When it comes to Australia versus England, here are 3 crazy weird culture shocks they should tell you before traveling to Australia. Hey, I'm that British girl, Jordana Grace, and even though I'm half Aussie, I was not prepared for these. And before you come at me, hear me out. You might agree with me. Let's find out. First up, let's talk about the Aussie traffic light system. In the UK, it's quite civilised, like a cup of tea with the Queen. The system is red, amber, green, and that amber light gives you just enough time to contemplate life, check your hair, or maybe even find the meaning of existence. But in Australia, it's a different story. There's no gentleness, it's like the Hunger Games. It's red, green, go! Why haven't you gone already? And I've always driven a manual car, and I was taught to never leave my car in gear at the red light, because it's so much better to put your car in neutral and apply the handbrake to keep it stationary. And that way, when it's in neutral, the clutch is spared unnecessary wear and tear. But did you know most Aussies drive autos? There are just so many automatic cars over here, which is actually really helpful because there's so many hills. In fact, most of my friends don't even take the manual driving test because it's auto all the way. And in Australia, the traffic lights are just red and green. And it goes so quick from red to green, it means if I'm at the front of the line when it's a red light, I've barely got my car in gear before the auto car driving speedy thundercats behind me are already yelling, "The light's green, go!" It stresses me out. Culture shock number 2. Now let's talk about the great Aussie cafe mystery. Picture this, you're in Australia, it's paradise, the home of the world's best coffee. You stroll into a cafe craving a glorious flat white and a cheeky snack. But when you need to, go, you then realize there's no loo in sight. Seriously, where's the loo? What are we doing, playing hide and seek with the toilets? Now I know this can differ between Aussie states and different locations, but more often than not, I found that most cafes or restaurants don't have their own toilet on premises. They'll most likely share with other businesses in the foreseeable vicinity. And then when you finally locate one, it's not open. You need a key, but not just any key, oh no. You need to get a key attached to this giant shovel-like thing. It's like announcing to the world, hey everybody, just so you know, I'm going to the toilet. I've been handed toilet keys attached to giant wooden spoons, whisks, spatulas, milk jugs. In fact, all food-related items that probably shouldn't go near the toilet. And that's if you're lucky. There have been times when I've been directed to the cafe toilet, which was down the road, over the bridge, to which you had to fight a troll and then answer 3 riddles before being given a PIN code just so you could wee whistle. And culture shock number 3, speaking of cafes, why do they close at midday? And I know it all depends on the state or city or town you're in, but I've been to quite a few different cities and cafes and they close around midday. Why? Why are you trying to curb my caffeine addiction? Because in the UK it's so normal to go to a cafe in the afternoon, and I know UK coffee tastes like meh, but at least we could order it whenever we wanted to, or have a tea or hot chocolate. Cafes in the afternoon are where you go to people watch or to meet up with friends, like the TV show Friends. I mean, if there was no Central Perk open after midday, there would have been no show. I mean, what am I meant to do in the afternoon? Socialise and meet new people? How dare you? I'm in my 30s, I wouldn't even know how to make a new friend, unless it was over our mutual fondness of cheese. And even then I'd be worried I'd have to share my cheese with someone else, which would explain why I have so many friends with lactose intolerance. And yes, cutting off my caffeine supply at 12 does help me sleep better at night, but I just want the option. But you know what? I still love Australia and think it's the most beautiful place to live, quirks and all. So please forgive me for this rant, I promise it's all in good fun. Aussies, I love you even though your traffic lights give me a heart attack and your cafes come with giant shovel keys. Side note, you could probably build a toilet inside the cafe where you store the giant toilet keys. I mean, that storage room must be huge. Just a thought. And that's Australia versus England, 3 weird culture shocks they should tell you before traveling to Australia. And as always, there's a bunch of links and resources in the description below. I'm that British girl, Jordana Grace, and thanks for watching.